Arteza Gouache. What is it? This is not in its original packaging. I'll put a photo of what the packaging looks like. I have put my tubes, or the tubes, into this box that I showed on my channel last year in 2019. Here is what one of the tubes of gouache look like. Now, gouache is an opaque watercolour. What does that mean? Well, watercolour is transparent. You add water to it and you do your washes and you can see through to the paper underneath. Basically, that is watercolour. When you use gouache, you won't be able to see through the paper as easily. It will be cloudy. And I say it's like painting with butter. That is how I explain what gouache is. Most people will say painting with butter would be more like oil paint, but that's if you use it thick, because oil is used thickly, basically, and I don't like oil. Gouache can be used thick, but it can also be used thinly, like any watercolour, and it is classed as watercolour. So let's take a look. Today we're talking about the Arteza gouache. This is the 12mm tubes that you get in the Arteza set of 24. It's premium. They have not, at this point of recording, released an expert range yet. The stars here are to let you know how light fast. And light fast means that the colour will not fade over time. And so the 3 is the highest rating on their box as a guide. 2 was the minimum. And number 2, there was only one in the pack of 24 that was only rating 2. So that means it won't last as long. It will fade slightly over time. And that is this peach red, which is my favourite colour because it's almost like a fluorescent pink. I like the style of the tube. I think it's quite aesthetically pleasing and professional with the gold writing and their white logo there. Arteza are an American art supply manufacturer. It says here manufactured in PRC. Perhaps you guys in America know what that is. I don't know what that is. But anyway, the company is America. And these are non-toxic. I think all of their products are non-toxic. It's a screw lid. And I'm not going to put any more out onto my palette. I've just been using an old ice cream lid as a palette. And you can see this blue is a bit wet because I used that earlier this morning. But when you look on the palette, you'll see, I mean, this is all Arteza gouache on here. And you can see when it's dry, really dry, it does crack. You know, some gouaches are known for that. So, for me, it's not much of a problem if I'm not moving my palette around. And to remedy it, you just add a couple of drops of water onto your colours. Let it sit for a minute or so, maybe a couple of minutes, and then you're good to go. The pigment picks up incredibly easy on a paintbrush. I shall just demonstrate that. However dry they are. So I've got my water here. We'll go back over here and we'll go on to this red and we'll just drop some water. And I'll drop a bit more. There we go. But we'll let it sit. But can you see it's already a puddle of colour? They're incredibly pigmented, these Arteza Gouache. I have never used Arteza products, ever. They're quite a brand new art company. I'm not sure how long they've been going. Possibly no more than 5 years. I could be totally wrong. The colours, as I've said, are very pigmented. All of them are pigmented. They're not all as opaque as I would like, but when you compare the price of these gouaches, for me in France, from Amazon France, they were €17.99, so not even €20 for a set of 24 tubes. So I have to say, on reflection, they are incredibly good for the price, because there are other brands, I would say if they were cheaper, they would be absolutely horrific, because I have tried school grade gouache, and when it was dried on the paper, it all fell off the canvas. You know, it was absolutely horrific, because it cracked on the canvas when dried and fell off. But the Arteza one does not do that. It's absolutely brilliant. Very, very pleased with it. As I said though, I would like to see all of the colours more opaque, because the greens are not as opaque as, for example, the black and the white. And I get through a lot of green. But for the price, I'm really impressed. Really, really impressed. And to show you how good I think they are, using the Arteza Square Sketchbook, I created this toucan using the gouache by Arteza. The black is incredibly opaque. It leaves that lovely surface, the matte surface. The yellow, I have to do a few more coats, but you can build up with the gouache, and you can see what I mean with the green. It isn't as matte as I would like, but I suppose the more coats I put on, hopefully it will be. And you can see no cracking. It's perfectly dry and no cracking. Really, really good paint. Now we're going to go into a time lapse, and I shall paint this train that I've hand drawn and pre-sketched earlier off camera, and we'll use the Arteza Gouache to colour it and bring some life into it. Let's go.